Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. We share the absurd with the left. Pardon me. Glad you guys are here. KJRadio.com. And you may be thinking, Kevin, what are you talking about? We share the absurd with the left. But we do. We share the absurd with the left. In one area of conservatism, we are absurd. Have I intrigued you? I hope so. There's a guy, a Danish philosopher. His name is Søren Kierkegaard. And he's considered to be the father of existentialism, the school of philosophy that puts the individual and his emotions, his thoughts, his responsibilities, and actions at the center of considerations. Kierkegaard's influence was really strange in that it extended to both the secular philosophers, people like Martin Heidegger and Jean-Paul Sartre. These were the people who were important in radicalizing the 1960s, but he also influenced theologians like Karl Barth and Emil Brunner. So Kierkegaard played this crucial role in shaping the way people thought during the 20th century. But to understand him, it's important to understand how he understood God. So for Kierkegaard, God was utterly transcendent. An infinite qualitative difference separated God from humanity. In other words, there is no way we could ever get to him. He's just impossible to reach, impossible to understand, and so on and so forth. So for Kierkegaard, faith wasn't about knowing or an act of trust in God and God's goodness and God's love for us necessarily. Instead, it's a belief in the, quote, strength of the absurd. And by absurd, he means that God contradicts reason. In other words, we only believe in God because we have faith in God, not because we actually see him, not because he's actually there going, hey, Kevin, do this or do that. I tell you all this, and I give you a little background on Søren Kierkegaard, because here's one of the things that he said that was pretty profound. He says, life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. A reality to be experienced. I want you to think about that just a bit. Do you remember days or do you remember moments? I know I remember moments. You said to me, Kevin, what did you do 3 weeks ago on Wednesday? I don't know. I don't have a running calendar. I remember Netanyahu saying, why do people take pictures? I don't understand why they take pictures. I mean, it's just capturing this moment. This moment is it's nothing. It is already past. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. You're here with me. Why do you need to take a picture? And a lot of people, they want to capture that moment. They want to capture those memories. And I understand that. I really do. But at the end of the day, what do you remember? You remember the moment. For Netanyahu, it's not a big deal when he meets you, but when you meet him, maybe it's a big deal. So you want to capture the moment. I was here when Netanyahu was in town or whatever. You remember possibly where you were when Mike Tyson lost the championship. You remember possibly where you were when the World Trade Center went down. You capture those moments. So life is fleeting. I mean, it's passing by. And let's face it, you don't have as many moments as you did. You certainly won't remember as many. How many times has somebody said, do you remember when we... And you're like, oh, well, kind of, but not really. And who's capturing what? I don't know why it just hit me, but I'm thinking about life. We've been talking about deceit. And I'm trying to put that all together some kind of way today on the show. See, because we've been deceived. I'm remembering a lot of them. Do you remember the moment of Hillary Clinton getting her butt kicked? I remember that moment. That's one I will remember for quite some time. I will remember talking about this episode of history where Donald Trump gets elected and then the deceit, everything that we've started discovering about what the country, what the government has been doing to us. But there's hope. See, the art of using deceit and cunning grow continually weaker and less effective to the user. That's a quote from John Tillotson. And Tillotson is saying the more you deceive, the less people believe. So we are finally reaching a point where it's getting tougher and tougher to deceive us. Oh, the left thinks they do. They want to believe that they are still able to do it, boy. We'll keep those investigations going. We're going to keep this thing moving. Donald Trump starts tweeting out, when are you going to end this thing? This is ridiculous. Needs to be over. And you know what? The public is finally going, it does need to be over. I talked about the poll I saw that said people care about Russia 1%. Will it influence you in the next election? 1%. That's normally enough for the media to go, done deal. That's normally enough for the Democrats to go, move on. But they can't. I told you earlier in the broadcast, maybe we talked about it the other day. The Democrats are in a rock and a hard place. They shut down the Russian investigation, and guess what? The new one has to open up. It's not over. Trump's not that forgiving. They know this. Trump's going to be vindictive and say, why aren't you looking at Hillary? Look at his tweets. Trump's not saying, shut it down. It's stupid. That's the end of it. He's saying, they covered up for Hillary. Why aren't you investigating Hillary? When it's done here, it's going over there. And when it goes over there, those dominoes start to fall. Democrats can't let it go. I want to go back to the absurd. So we share this absurdity, which, by the way, the Democrats are absurd. I just described it to you. But we share this absurdity with the Democrats. We share the absurdity that we believe in something bigger. And we believe in this infinite distance between us and this higher being. This thing that drives our actions and things of this sort. The existentialism, if you will, of God. And the Democrats believe in the absurd. That's where we partner with them. But here's where we distance ourselves from them. Our absurdity is in something that's bigger and more grandiose than we are, and it drives our actions to something for the greater good. Democrats believe in the absurd, and their absurdity drives you to evil. It drives you to things that cannot be productive for your society. It can't even be productive for you as an individual. It showcases all of the worst characteristics of man. Their absurdities do. Our absurdity, the thing that they try to ridicule us for, a belief in something bigger than we are, is not absurd at all. It's, as they say in the Bible, walk by faith, not by sight. And so that's what we do. Back in just a bit.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful four-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.